nutrients from flour, we're taking nutrients out and replacing it by the white particulates that we get out here. So it's a little bit of a slow process, but if you have some time, real quick, right? I'm going to show you what to do, and then let's see what we got going on. And this is the finest sieve that I have, and this is really not designed for flour. This is what we call a powdered sugar sieve. So it's to sieve powdered sugar, but it's as fine as we can get it. You can buy sifts for flour to refine it to the point of where you end up with a bread flour. It just goes through numerous sifting applications. If you can think of it this way, a commercial mill goes through 33 sift cycles before you end up with your flour.
Wow.
We're going to go with one. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to try to remove that bran out of here. And all I want you to do is shake it on here. And let's see what we end up with.
So what can you do with the leftover, like all the nutrients?
Well, commercially what they do is they give it to animal feed. They feed the cows, the dogs, they make dog food out of it. So it doesn't go to waste, it's just a matter of, it's not used in the baking industry. So this is basically the process of extracting flour from that wheat berry. It's a pretty labor-intensive process, but you're doing a great job, so just keep on going. In the meantime, oh no, there's a wrong button to press for this stuff. What we're going to do is we're going to look at water real quick. Sorry, I just need to sort of where we're going. Oh, perfect. What we're going to do is we're going to look at what hydration really means. Again, if you understand, we've identified water needs to be part of the equation, right? We know flour needs to be part of the equation. Yeast and salt, hopefully by the end we'll sort of start to see some stuff happening here. But what I want to do over here is I want you to see what hydration really means, because when I throw out that term, people are like, yeah, whatever. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have 4 containers, and I'm going to give each one of you one container, and there's a bowl scraper in there, and I just want you to dump the water in there. There's no yeast, there's no salt. And you're going to just knead it together so that we can get a feel, a sense of what a 55, a 65, a 75, and an 85 hydration feels like, so that we have some sort of tangible sort of connection to that terminology. Okay? So who wants to get their hands wet? I think Kyle needs to get his hands wet because I took the job away from him. And you feel pretty strong, right? Who's feeling sort of really strong, really strong? Really strong. And you guys are sort of strong, right? Let's see what happens with sort of strong. If you guys want to, you might want to, just for ease of cleanup on your hands, if you want to put on some gloves, they'll just be easier to sort of slide them out. Put the water in first, and then there's some gloves right here. I only brought medium and large, but if you need small.
That was a lot.
How's it going? Oh my God, look at all that. Let's see what you're doing great.
Oh, that's all the leftover.
So that's that bran, because the bran is so hard it can't crack through that sort of milling cycle, and you start to see how much of it actually you're holding back.
So, do they sell like semi, like I guess you know, but well, not
Yes,
semi,
yeah.
but like semi.
So in the artisan's world, we can get what we call a high extraction flour. That's nutritionally very sound. It has still a high percentage of that bran in the flour and makes it for very tasty bread. The more bran you put into it, you start to lose some attributes. And we're going to see that by the end, we'll sort of discover, hopefully, all of those concerns and sort of we'll feel for it, yes. Water first. It's easier to sort of incorporate. It's okay. Don't worry. You'll be fine. No, you'll be fine. Just keep on going there. You'll be fine.
All at once? All the flour?
Just dump it all in and just have a good time. And with the bowl scraper, sometimes you can sort of just help scoop it off a little bit and it'll make it a little bit easier. And just don't mess your lids up, just so we can sort of see what we got going on, because each lid, that percentage sign, is going to be in reference to what the dough will feel like. Again, it's always just water and flour. How's it going with you, Brian? You doing good? Great. So, what I need you to sort of get a feel for is, when we talk to hydration can change certain attributes in a bread that we won't discover till actually in the last class. But you'll see it, what it feels like visually, and texturally what it feels like when you change the hydration component in the loaf of bread. Do you know what the difference is between a focaccia or ciabatta and a baguette? What's that? That's it. And hydration is what? The amount of water. Yeah, so everything else is pretty much on the same plane. What's that? Do you remember that from the good old days, or? Good times. And also understand a little bit, when we did the test with Nicole, she stuck her thermometer in there. It was sort of one of those hidden little quick shifts that we did, and it was 55 degrees. I guarantee when we take anyone else's reading eventually, that we're going to get a much warmer dough because the liquid was from the fridge. And what I want you to do is, once you sort of got the dough mixed pretty well, just take your finger and just sort of stick it in there, except maybe yours right there, that one's pretty sticky. But just so you can see what the difference is between hydration, right? So that one right here is 55, 65, 75, and 85. And you should all feel it. I mean, it's not going to taste like anything, but at least you can sort of get a sense to it.
How much?
Yeah, if yours feels like it. And I bet you if I were to blindfold you and we did this experience, you could tell by just sticking your finger into it and probably tell if I gave you those 4 classifications in percentage on hydration, you'll understand what that terminology really comes down to.
Well, how much was this?
65.
Yep. This is 65.
Yeah.
This is 65?
Yeah.
Oh, 65.
You like the 85?
No. There's
55, it's just more if it's like Play-Doh-y.
Yeah. So most breads that, like a bagel, if you can think about on a bagel perspective, well, you've all had bagels, right? You cut one open, what does it look like on the inside?
Pretty
It could be
tight.
soft, tight, and dense would be the way I would say it. Small air cell structure, right?
Yeah.
Right here. This is the way your bagel dough is going to feel at the beginning. Focaccia, 55, 60. If you're going to make a focaccia, guys, that's what you're looking for right there. If you're looking for a baguette, that's what it's going to look like. That's the only change. We all have salt and yeast in there. There's just a small little change. Yeah? Absolutely. So if you wanted to make a bagel, you would be probably close to 55, 60 on your hydration cycle. That's how your dough is going to feel like. So when you're mixing a dough, and you know when you can read that it says 65, you already know what it's going to feel like. If you're going to make a baguette, it should feel slightly sticky. I think Hazel, that one should be the one that's slightly sticky. Not too sticky. Those starches haven't properly hydrated yet. They will get less sticky in about 20 minutes. We just want to have the time to sort of experiment with it. And yours is a mess. But that mess turns into beautiful, open, creamy crumb structure. Focaccia, ciabatta, anything with open and rustique. So as soon as I change the hydration, it all goes down that way. Yeah? All right, so what we'll do is, let me just take these away from you real quick. I'm just going to put them over there. We'll keep them, and so we'll just maybe at the end, just stick our fingers into it one more time and see if it maybe changes a little bit. And then, oops, you have a little overrun, which is part of the commercial application too. This probably, if you were to commercialize this flour, would probably fall under the high extraction rate. So that you can see the difference in color. I mean, if we had the light on, it would be even a little more dramatic.
Would you like me to get
Could
the
we
light
turn the light on real quick?
Yeah.
Just real quick so you can sort of see what you got going on over there.